and welcome to this first episode of Holistic Talks with me. I am your host, Shelly Goff Caldera, and welcome to the channel. For those of you who are new, the channel's been around since 2011. It used to be under the name of Esoteric Discussions. So if some of you are subscribers, that's what you originally subscribed to many years ago, although probably some of you have just stumbled upon me by mistake. And if you have, welcome, because there's no mistakes in life anyway. So the reason why the channel has been rebranded and renamed is because I've now decided to focus the channel on still metaphysical, esoteric topics, but from the perspective of the world of public relations and communications. And that's mainly because that's the area that I've been working in for like the last 20 years. I've worked in PR, I've worked in marketing, I've worked on radio. I was a host on Peterborough FM. That's how I started the channel to begin with. And I would say many researchers and many of us, we come across information about, the Illuminati or World Economic Forum, any of those types of topics approached through the regular visual sources that we see in front of us. But we don't tend to think about the world of communications and how the spin doctors and the mega minds behind the scenes have continuously played with our reality, how we understand the world through words and through images. And we call them the image makers. And these people, they exist behind the scenes. They own our media. They own the content that we see in front of us. Someone is always being paid to promote an idea or an ideology. And for the most part, we don't seem to recognize that. We just take things as they are for face value. And that's because the average person is quite honest and trusting. But we're now in a period of time, and I'll be getting onto this in just a sec when we talk about the age of Aquarius, which most of you will probably have heard of. It's nothing new, but how communications and the world around us will transform is going to be quite incredible over the next 20 years. And we're going to see a progression of new technologies, a whole new system, a whole new technocratic system, which the globalists they've already laid out the blueprints for that. And they'll be bringing all those features in, the chipping ID, digital ID, chipping, those types of scenarios. So it's always very useful to know what they have in their minds and what these people have been up to really get a good idea of the world around us. So that's the purpose of the channel, Holistic Business PR for You. So you'll see a lot of content that focuses on news headlines, but with a twist. So I'm always looking at the PR saboteurs and the PR spin doctors, and nothing is ever as it seems. So if that's something that's of interest, please subscribe to the channel. Eventually, the idea is to also bring in business owners and people that are doing some great work, in the world of the metaphysical world, in the world of like holistic business and meditation and, working with the laws of the universe, and those who just have great messages to share. But for now, I'll be doing a few podcasts like this and just building up the work bit by bit, because I'm kind of new to all the technology. I've been busy working and raising my daughter, and I'm a bit old as well. So I'm trying to get used to everything. But definitely the time is now to really be aware of what's going on. And so I can no longer hide in the shadows. It's time for me to also join the wonderful people that are doing some great work out there. And there's some really amazing people, some really brave people championing our rights and using their words to, do the best they can to challenge what's coming. And there's this sort of fear and myth that these globalists, these people that lurk in the shadows, they're going to win. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're not going to win. That it's going to be a definite fight for those who are aware and those who aren't aware. And those who aren't aware can easily fall into traps and can get hurt. And we've seen that with this recent carjack with the injections. Some people have completely bought the spin, the propaganda, and the techniques that we used were very aggressive. And for some people, they were victims of mind control and they completely believed everything that was paraded on the screens and the words that were coming out of people's mouths, people who were paid to promote a campaign, an ideology. So I wouldn't say that we have to be fearful that we're going to lose, but if you want to survive, yes, you do need to be aware of the game, because there is a game being played. There's a game of reality. So that's just some of the things that that I'll be addressing as I do more talks and content for the channel. Just a quick update as to things that I'm getting up to. If you don't know what I do, I run a company called Holistic Business PR. And when you go onto the website, you'll see that I'm offering a few winter specials. If you are interested in writing your own book, I do ghostwriting. Got a special going with that at the moment. Any astrology lovers, I'm doing a special for astrology for business owners and creatives. And there's a few other specials that I'm running at the moment. But the business in general focuses on media relations, working with the press, content creation such as social media and blogging, copywriting. Not everybody feels comfortable writing copy or writing scripts for various projects that they have. And so I'm happy to work in the background and give a helping hand to business owners. So that's what I do. I love helping other people grow and develop themselves. And I also do development work as well for individuals and business owners as well, spiritual side of things, the holistic side. So my business is all about promoting the individual and to create services and businesses that are working in harmony with the world that's coming, the world that's here now. 2022, we closed the door on the old world and we crossed over to a new world in this year, 2023. I'm very much tuned in to those energies. So if you like the sound of that, come visit me at my website. And you can also find me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. Just look for @Holistic Business PR. It's the same name. Not many people have that one. So I don't have to worry about competition for that one. And just keep in touch with me here on YouTube. We're going to now have a look at the new world. Is it new world? New time? So I think it's a bit of both. The new energies of where we are. And 2023 is a shadow year for what's coming. I don't call myself a channeler, but I do hear guidance, and I always have. I'm just built that way, wired that way. I've always felt this time that's coming to be quite powerful. And if you go back and listen to some of the old audios that I have there on the channel from esoteric discussions when I'm doing interviews and things, I always talked about this time period in my introduction before I used to have my guests come on. It's an exciting time that's coming, but it's also going to be a huge period of change. So, from an astrological point of view, and not to make it be too complicated, but I do use astrology a lot for the work that I do. Astrology and numerology, it just helps to feel the energy and the environment that we're working in. So if we just go backwards to 2020, there was a huge alignment with Saturn and Pluto, and Jupiter was there in the mix in Capricorn. And when that alignment kicked in, that was what we call a reset of energy. Now, if we go even further back in time, back to around 2007, 2008, and Capricorn was business, it was structure, it was governments, it was people in control. And Pluto likes to destroy and also show the arrogance and the manipulation and the darkness that comes with people who are in power. So we're talking about those who have the power to lead and people who run corporations and businesses. And so when Pluto went into Capricorn, we had the big financial crash. And we've spent all of that time now basically finding out about, well, I think everyone has eyes and can see the people that are in charge aren't the most honest, are they? And that's been the job of Pluto and Capricorn. It's to expose the hypocrisy of those who have been in power, to show their treachery and to show their greed, and at the expense of the general public. And public is a term that we use in public relations. Us, we are the audience. We are the ones that they did the dirty on. And so as we now come to the end of Pluto in Capricorn, a news story is unfolding. You know, probably 10, 15 years ago, if you told the average person, oh, the elites, they meet up and they have these private meetings where they discuss world policy and they outline their agenda of what they want to do in the world for the future, most people would have said, no, that's not true. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? This is something certainly that Mr. Jones used to talk about. I think you know who I'm talking about. And he was called a mad conspiracy theorist. Well, they came out of hiding. They revealed themselves. We are now in the time of the great reveal. So all of the things that we thought didn't happen actually do happen. So we are now on the verge of a world that has always been scripted in a certain way to help and benefit those in control. And as we come to the end of Pluto and Capricorn, that control starts to fall away. And as we go into Aquarius, where the energy is very different to Capricorn, we're going to see many people awakening, which we have. And I think that term gets kicked about just a bit too much. Some people are understanding more what they see, but they're still in the program of it all. They still want to trust the politicians. They still want to trust the policies that are being presented to them. But as we enter into Pluto and Aquarius, I think you'll start to find that people will question a lot more and will be more willing to try different things, think for themselves, go outside of the box, go into smaller communities to find the help that they need. Because the system as we know it is just not going to be there for us. And we're starting to see that now. Things just don't work. I mean, in the UK, as I speak, it's January the 26th, 2023. And we have a variety of different strikes going on, and we'll continue to have that because everybody's just being pushed to the brink. And it's also the new energy that's coming. People are fed up. We've had enough, and as business owners, with all of the demands of lockdown, the policies that were pushed onto business owners, onto people who do work, it just has all become too much, and it's a spillover. And a lot of people have said, you know what, it's about time I think for myself and I demand more for me. And that is the energy of Pluto and Aquarius. Now, what will that look like? Well, nothing is ever perfect. And we are in a reality where good and bad coexist. So I think also there's a lot of dreaming about all of the bad going away, and it's just going to be this sort of perfect world. And that's not going to be the case. It's not going to be a perfect world. We're not going to eradicate all of the evil on the planet. There's far too much work to do still for that to happen within 5, 10, 20 years. But what we will probably see is people no longer just trusting the word spin, the policies, the policy makers, the image makers. These are all of the things of the world of communications and PR. Quite frankly, we've been played. We have been played in really big ways. And because of the treachery that was done to us over the last 20 years, certainly since the year 2000, the world has become less and less about having a good standard of living, safety for the children, great family values, and has just turned into all that attack on the family, survival, and happiness. So people have had enough, and we're seeing strikes, and we will see people trying to get their power during the next 20 years. The other thing that we will see is the new technocratic global system. And that we can't stop. That is already underway and in motion. And with Aquarius, Aquarius does real science and thinking outside of the box, being eccentric, doing things in a new revolutionary type of way, and the higher mind, intelligence, and overall understanding of everything, how we understand the world. Although we will see great strides forward, we will see the dark side of technology. And again, there's going to be a choice if you want to take part in that or not take part in that. There is no perfection with it. We're all going to be forced to accept technologies that are coming. The internet's going to change. Probably the way we interact with podcasting and recording, there's going to be new advances in those areas. And many of us will, use the new technologies, but how far do you want to go? There will also be wide chipping that goes on in the brains, on the hands, in the body, wearable technology, very much digital technology. But with it being Pluto going into Aquarius and sort of kicking off the Aquarius age, I would have to surmise and say in the end, we're going to see the dark side of technology. And not only the dark side of technology, but the dark side of the image makers, the people that create policy, the people that shape our world and have us believe the things that we believe. Because all of our belief systems come from someone or a think tank or a television channel or a famous person who is promoting an idea or a way of life to us. And so we should never give our independence and our authority away too easily as we move forward. And what we dealt with in 2020 with the whole car wreck situation was a warm-up act. And there were a lot of very aggressive marketing tactics that were used during the height of the pandemic to force and to make people feel guilty for not choosing, or to force you to choose to do something, whether that was to put something over your mouth, a face mask, or to inject something into your body. I would expect marketing tactics to get quite dark still. A lot of subversive mind control and manipulation. So we're not out of the woods with that. If anything, I think they're just getting started on us. The 20th century, they did a lot of experimentation with mind control and with brainwashing and just developing the whole area of marketing and public relations. So I would expect in the next 20 years for the communication sector to really go forward in huge strides, but not in necessarily good ways. So there's a lot to look forward to with Pluto going into Aquarius and the Aquarius age coming, but there's also a lot of not so good things to look forward to as well. And it's up to us, the individual, to decide what we want to do. If there was anything that you learned from the last couple of years, it should have been that you have a choice. And we all have choices. You don't have to just do what we're told to do. And that's also the energy of Aquarius and the age of Aquarius as well. So the positive side are people going into communities and finding alternative ways to coexist. You just get to the point where you say, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. And you find other people that agree with you, and you will find ways to coexist. And again, the technologies will be there to help us and to give us the support we need. That's just a quick rundown of Aquarius age and where we are. So it was just a very short and sweet introductory into my first talk with Holistic Talks. As I carry on doing further talks, I'll also, one of the things I want to do is to focus on entrepreneurs as well, look at their astrology. And they don't have to be good people. They can be good or bad. People like Elon Musk and Bill Gates have very interesting astrology. And whether we like them, don't like them, I don't care for either one of them myself, but what they have done in terms of promoting new forms, new ways of doing things, we can't deny. And again, behind their stories, we're talking about two individuals who come from families that have great reach and money, and they've been pushed onto our path and raised up high for us to look up to. So I want to explore people like that, but also other entrepreneurs that have been beneficial and positive as well, and who have tried to do good. So there's lots to look forward to, wonderful topics to discuss. There's so much going on in the news, and it's a very exciting time. If you want to stay on board with me, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. And until next time, take care of yourself.